Hey folks, Eric Bray, Focus Fishing Guide Service. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock Lake. It is Wednesday, October the 18th. Did 2 long trips yesterday, and in all honesty, just didn't have time to get the video shot yesterday. So going ahead and knocking it out today. Sorry it's a day late, but better a day late and not a dollar short. As far as the lake level is concerned, we are at 916.22 last time I looked. I tried to check just before I shot this, but don't have any cell phone service down here. Last time I checked, we were at 916.22, which is a little bit more than a foot over, or I guess under, our normal summertime pool. They will start adjusting that. December 1st is when it's going to be back to 915. So we're pretty much right on schedule right there. Water temperature, these colder nights, these colder days has cooled the water temperature down a little bit. We are, I saw 69.2 when I launched the boat here at Ants Creek this morning. Got off the water, it was right around 70 degrees. So it has cooled off about 5 or 6 degrees since last week. We do have a slight warm-up coming up tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, but then we've got another front coming in on Sunday, so I don't think it's going to really raise the water temperature back up. We are getting a lot closer to that mid 60 degree range where the fish really start to turn on for the fall, but we're not quite there yet. As far as the fishing is concerned, since the water has started to cool down, it has gotten progressively better. Monday was better than Sunday. Yesterday was better than Monday. Today wasn't bad. I mean, I went out with Joe from Tight Lines UV. We had a good time, caught quite a few fish, and they were biting a little bit more predictably than they were, say, last Thursday or Friday. So the bite has gotten better, and I expect it to continue to get better as the water cools down, as our temperatures start to drop. We're definitely going to start to see a much more aggressive, more shallow bite than we've got right now. If you guys are coming down, so you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, a couple of really good bites going on down there. You definitely want to have a topwater tied on the entire time you're on the water, anywhere on the lake, but specifically down on the lower end of the lake. Just as an example, I was out, like I said, I had a double yesterday, and we were out, I guess it was about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the fish just started chasing shad right by us, and managed to catch a couple, throwing a topwater. Doing a little bit better right now with a spook. I've been throwing the 1-knocker spook. Color doesn't seem to matter that much, but I'm doing a little bit better with the spook. I know guys are still catching them on a whopper plopper. Guys are catching them on a popper, and some of them are catching them on a Sammy. But make sure you have a topwater tied on, and you're basically just looking for shad and schooling fish. There's not really a good pattern on the lower end of the lake where these fish are. Most of them seem to be relating to gravel, but as far as a depth, yesterday we caught them over 60 foot in the afternoon. In the morning we caught them over 30 foot. So they are just out there chasing those schools of shad. The best thing I can tell you is if you see shad on your graph, especially if the shad are 10 feet deep or less, make sure you have a topwater at the ready, because they can come up chasing shad at any time. The other bite that's working really well down there continues to be a drop shot bite. Most of the fish are on gravel. We fished trees yesterday. We fished around some bigger docks yesterday. Didn't do real well. Got out on those gravel points, gravel humps, and gravel flats anywhere from about 23 in the morning out to as deep as 40 in the afternoon. And we found several fish and found some better fish, some keeper fish. I know over the weekend there were a few tournaments on the lake, and guys were struggling to get keepers. We managed to catch, I think about 8 or 10 all day yesterday. We had 3 or 4 today. So there is a good deep bite down there. Doing well with the shad-shaped worm, doing well with a cut-tail worm, and doing really well with the new UV drop shot worm. It's a specific drop shot worm, has a flat belly on it, kind of looks like a hand pour, but it's a very good worm. The actual crawler color has been the best color on that, but it's a really good looking worm, and I've been doing really well with that. So that might be something you want to add to your drop shot arsenal, or some of the new UV worms. Go up to the Kimberling City area, and same bites are working. You definitely want to have a topwater tied on. Anytime on the water for the next month and a half, guys, you're going to want to have a topwater tied on. Spook, again, seems to be a little bit stronger than anything else. Again, they're random. They're out over top of gravel. They're chasing shad. So if you see shad on your graph, make sure you've got your topwater ready to throw, where you can pick it up and throw it pretty quick. because they don't stay up for long. They'll stay up for 30 seconds at most. But doing well with a topwater spook, a Sammy, a popper, just about any of the topwater you like to throw, but the spook has been my best bait. I've been throwing the one knocker quite a bit and doing really well with that. Drop shots working down there as well, using either a shad-shaped worm, a Yamamoto cut-tail worm. The new UV drop shot worm has been really strong, and the Chompers drop shot worm. All those baits are working on a drop shot. Again, it seems like those fish are a little bit shallower early, 20 to 25, maybe even as deep as 30. As the sun comes up, those fish have been moving a little bit deeper, 35 to 40 feet deep. Have been catching quite a few on a jig as well, especially around boat docks in the Kimberling City area. It seems like a lot of fish are moving up. When they move up, are hanging around the boat docks, hanging around the shade, doing well anywhere there's shade. The backside of the dock by the walkway, in the slips, or on the sides of the shady sides of the docks. Doing good with the Jewel Pro Spider jig. 5/16 has been a better one. Okeechobee Blue, Green Pumpkin Candy, Table Rock Secret. All three of those are good. Match that up with a Speed Crawl has been my best trailer on that, in Watermelon Candy, and putting a little bit of orange on the pinchers really seems to make a difference as far as the number of bites. And have been catching a few on a Bass Pro flipping tube back in there as well, pitching it back underneath the walkways, Texas rigging it, pegging the sinker, usually a 3/16 or 5/16 ounce bullet weight, and pegging it so it doesn't slide. Catching a few doing that as well. Black Neon's been a good color, and Green Pumpkin's been a good color, just in those shady areas. Seems like either a jig on a windy or low pressure day, it seems like the jig's a little bit better. High pressure days seem like we do better with a tube around the boat docks in Kimberling City. Come up into the James where I am today. Like I said, we had a fun day this morning. Went out with Joe from Tight Lines and caught quite a few fish on topwater early. And it seems like the fish up here are a little bit more where you'd expect them to be on topwater. There are some of those random fish out there chasing shad on the deeper gravel points and gravel flats. We actually saw that late in the day. Didn't really throw at them that much because we were drop shotting, but there are some fish where you'd expect to find them on a topwater, on more of the secondary points back in the creeks. I'm at Ants Creek right now, and we caught a few back here off of the secondaries as well. And again, the spook was a much better bait than anything else we threw. Spook's working, Sammy's working, Popper's working, and there are guys catching them on a whopper plopper. I just haven't had the success with a whopper plopper the last few days that I've been having with the spook. But it's a day-by-day thing. I know some guys will go out and not catch them on a spook, but catch them on a whopper plopper. So just make sure that you've got both of them ready, but make sure you get a topwater of any sort. When they actually come up and start schooling, you've got to throw something into them, and a whopper plopper or a spook has been a really good option. Jig bite really strong up here as well, especially again around boat docks. Seems like there's a lot of fish starting to stage up under the boat docks. Docks that tend to be a little bit bigger or over deeper water that come up on shallow water seem to be the best. And again, all these fish are in the shade, whether they're in the slips, on the shady side of the dock, or on the back side of the dock on the walkway. Fish are in the shade, doing well with the Pro Spider jig, 5/16, the same color as Okeechobee Blue, Green Pumpkin Candy, Table Rock Secret, matched up with the Speed Crawl. Again, putting a little bit of chartreuse or a little bit of orange on the pinchers of that Speed Crawl to get a few more bites, or the tube. Texas rigging it with either a 5/16, 3/16, quarter ounce, whatever weight you have, bullet weight. Texas rigging it, pegging that weight, pitching it back in there underneath those walkways has been really good, or in the slips, the open slips. A lot more boats are off the water right now, so you've got a lot more open slips to fish than you would normally have throughout the summer. And the fish are taking advantage of the shade of the docks. Hit the shade, you'll get bit. Haven't really done great with a spinnerbait this week, which is kind of odd with the amount of wind we've had. Have caught a few fish, not a lot of keepers on it, but the fish that I have caught have been in the same locations they were a week or 2 weeks ago, where they're on those channel swing banks where it breaks down from bigger rock to smaller rock to gravel. Kind of that transition area, and any wood that is on those transition areas is really holding the fish. So look for those, look for wood, stumps, laydowns, whatever it may be on those transition areas. That's where you're catching most of the fish with a spinnerbait. Wind's starting to kick up right now. I think if I was on the water right now, I'd probably go run some windy banks, just throwing a spinnerbait to see if I can get bit on it. Pretty sure mouse has been a good color for me. The few fish I have caught have been on mouse, but pretty sure I could catch quite a few fish on a spinnerbait this afternoon because it's supposed to blow about 15 to 20. Cooler water, those fish are going to move up. White River, White River continues to be fun. Catching a lot of fish on the White River. Drop shot rig is working really well. Again, on those gravel points, gravel humps, out there 25 feet deep early in the morning, move all the way out to 40 once the sun gets up. Look for those fish on your graph. You may see one or two down there on the bottom or just off on the bottom. Drop all the way down to them, pull it up off the bottom, boom, you'll hook one, and the bottom will literally blow up. So watch for that when you're drop shotting. Shad-shaped worm, Yamamoto cut-tail worm, Chomper's drop shot worm, and of course that new UV, that Tightlines UV drop shot worm. I'm really impressed with that bait. It's very durable, can catch a lot of fish off of it, has a great action, and of course it has the UV reflecting in it that really attracts those fish, especially in that deeper water, 40-foot deep. Did well with that one again today, so might want to look at getting some of those if you guys are going to do any drop shotting. Jig bite's good up the white as well. Catching them again around docks, a few of them out on the gravel points on a bigger football jig, like a half or even a 3/4 ounce or 5/8 ounce football jig. But seems like those fish haven't really moved up to where they're really catchable. They're so scattered out there. But around docks with a 5/16 Jewel Pro Spider jig, Okeechobee Blue, Green Pumpkin Candy, Table Rock Secret, matched up with the Speed Crawl, a little bit of orange on the pinchers. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's working all over the lake. But key on the shad. Make sure you're pitching back into the stalls, pitching around the shady side of the dock, and pitching it back under the walkway. A lot of fish are coming off of that, and some fish on a tube doing that as well. A lot of fish on a tube this past weekend, or before the weekend this past week, catching a lot of fish back on the backs of the docks and in the shady areas of the docks, pitching that Texas rig, Bass Pro Shops flipping tube, or even a UV tube. Black neon was a good color. Green pumpkin's a good color. Green pumpkin with a little bit of orange on it's a great color. Again, 3/16, 5/16, 1/4 ounce, whatever bullet sinker you're comfortable pitching. Peg that thing, put it on a Texas rig, and pitch it around the docks. Been catching some fish doing that. And of course, a top water. You can't get on the water right now and not have a top water tied on, laying on your deck the entire time on your water. You're on the water, because it is one of those deals that, especially if you're fishing a derby, it's one of those deals that one or two fish you may need to fill your limit may come up busting 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet off your boat. If you don't have that top water ready, you're not going to catch that fish. So make sure you have a top water tied on. Again, Spook's been stronger up the white than a whopper plopper, but I know guys are catching them on a whopper plopper. I know guys are catching them on a Sammy. I know guys are catching them on a popper. So whatever your favorite top water is, whatever you want to throw, make sure you have that at the ready and ready to throw as soon as one of them comes up, and keep it on the deck all day long. Don't put it away at noon when you think the top water bite's over. We caught them up till 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon on a top water, and they were busting around us. So make sure you have that top water tied on. Guys, it is officially the middle of October. It's been a great year, fellas. I gotta be honest with you. I've had a great year. I appreciate all you guys that watch the videos, that have booked me, called me, so on and so forth. I am booked all the way through the end of October and actually the first week of November. But it's been a great year, and I really think the fishing's going to get even better here over these next couple of weeks through November into December. It's time. These fish are going to move up. It's going to get good. We are going to start running winter rates in November, so you can save $50 on a guide trip. So if you guys are thinking about coming down, maybe you got a lake house down here, you want to do a little late fall, early winter fishing, maybe you've got a derby coming up, maybe you want to learn how to drop shot. Great time to come down and learn how to drop shot in November. If you want to learn how to throw a crankbait, we're going to start throwing wiggle warts, rock crawlers, all that stuff here as soon as this water cools off. It's a great time to come down, do a little fishing, have some fun. But if you want to come down, go fishing, hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743. Hit my website, focusfishing.com. Shoot me an email, book online. Get a hold of me one way or the other. We'll figure out a date and a time that works out for both of us. But you're going to catch a lot of fish over these next couple of months, guys. So don't miss out on some of the best fishing of the year, November or December. But give me a call. Thanks for watching the videos. Really appreciate that. Take a minute to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We're up over 2,300 subscribers, which is really cool. But thanks for watching. I can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.